George Russell clinched victory at the 2024 Belgium Grand Prix by devising his own tyre strategy, ultimately outpacing his teammate Lewis Hamilton. Post-race, Hamilton expressed his disappointment, believing that if he had been given the same strategy, he would have triumphed over Russell. However, following the checkered flag, FIA technical delegate Joe Bauer issued a statement at 17:50 local time, revealing that the double weighing procedure found George Russell's W15 failed to meet the minimum weight requirement of 798 kilograms. The statement read, "After the race, car number 63 was weighed and its weight was 798.0 kilograms, which meets the minimum weight as per TR Article 4.1. Following this, fuel was drained from the car and 2.8 litres of fuel were removed. The car was not fully drained according to the draining procedure submitted by the team in their legality documents, but as TR Article 6.5.2 is fulfilled, the car was weighed again on the FIA's inside and outside scales, and the weight was 765.5 kilograms. It's clear that while the car initially met the legal weight limit, the true weight of F1 cars must exceed 798 kilograms when all fuel is drained. Interestingly, the FIA typically takes a 1-litre fuel sample to ensure compliance, but in this instance, their suspicions led them to drain the entire fuel system after taking the standard sample. This unusual step suggests the FIA had reasons to doubt the car's legality despite the initial checks. When an underweight car is reported to the stewards by the FIA delegates, much like with pit lane speeding, the result is typically a straightforward penalty. However, questions now arise. Will Lewis Hamilton's car also be weighed? Moreover, was this part of a Mercedes strategy to mask an underweight car by hoping the FIA would only extract the standard 1-litre fuel sample? Such suspicions cast a shadow over the team's tactics and the legitimacy of the race outcome. So, did Mercedes forget to account for the unique cool-down procedure at Spa when fueling the car? Or could it simply be impossible to pick up 1.5 kilos of discarded rubber on the track? Additionally, Russell's lack of DRS during his final stint might have caused him to use more fuel than the team anticipated. During the race, when leading, Lewis Hamilton was instructed to lift and coast more, which was initially thought to be due to the absence of a predicted safety car. However, in the final laps, George Russell had to push hard as Hamilton was closing in on him at over half a second per lap. This pressure could have led Russell to burn more fuel than planned. The team's objective would have been to finish with just enough fuel for the FIA's checks, but it seems Russell may have fallen short in fuel management. Mercedes cancelled the usual post-race team photograph, where the drivers and their finishing positions are celebrated with the race crew and pit boards displaying the final standings. During this time, Russell's car was reweighed, and it seemed team representatives were requesting new tyres to be fitted for the reweighing. Car 63 is disqualified from the race classification, the FIA revealed at 19:01 local time, and Lewis Hamilton was promoted to race winner. Mercedes now claim to Sky F1's Craig Slater they believe it was the switch from a 2-stop to a 1-stop, which meant Russell ran on his hard tyres for the race. The extra tyre degradation due to the 1-stop could have been several hundred grams per tyre. In a twist of frustration, Lewis Hamilton voiced his concerns post-race, pointing out that he still had plenty of tyre life left at each pit stop. He subtly hinted that the team's strategic oversight, not putting the 7-time world champion on a 1-stop race plan, might have cost him a better finish. Speaking before the stewards' verdict had been confirmed, Mercedes boss Toto Wolff indicated that the team would accept the outcome, though he acknowledged it would be particularly hard for Russell to swallow. "We have to take it on the chin if the stewards decide against us. It is what it is. The mistake has happened." The team principal further added, "We have to learn from this. As a team, there are more positives to take, but obviously for George, it's a massive blow." In the post-race interview, Hamilton candidly remarked, "Every stint I had tyres left, but the team pulled me in. Unfortunate, but it is what it is." Reflecting on the race's outcome, he graciously said, "We definitely didn't expect it. Congratulations to George and the team. We had a disaster on Friday. The car was nowhere, but it was fantastic today. If we can continue these types of performances, it will be fantastic. We've got to keep pushing." Hamilton had been closing in on Russell after his final stop, gaining roughly 3/4 of a second per lap. However, as Lewis got within the crucial DRS 1-second gap, he faltered, making several mistakes, including running wide and locking up at turn 1. Toto Wolff seemed taken aback when interviewed by Sky F1 post-race. "On Friday, we were not competitive, so we were expecting at best a podium. The team in Brackley worked really well overnight, and the trackside engineering team did their job. The car was good on 1 stop and even better on 2 stops. Work in the simulator on Friday night revealed that the new floor on the Mercedes wasn't meshing well with the suspension's mechanical elements. As a result, both W15 cars reverted to the floor used in Hungary last time out. When asked if Lewis should be disappointed with the result, given that he was 12 seconds ahead of his teammate at one point, Toto Wolff remained diplomatic. "I'd like to have had 2 winners today, but we had to stop Lewis to cover Norris because we would have been undercut. That was the call, and George had nothing to lose because we were at P5. And the 1-stop and 2-stop simulations both showed P5, so we just kept him out." Looking ahead to the team's future without Hamilton, the Mercedes boss acknowledged that their junior driver is ready to step up next season. Yes, he's very strong, and the two of them today were so much more sure, so good, but George is stepping up. It's all good. In the media pen after the checkered flag, Hamilton reiterated that his strategy was the reason he lost out to his teammate for the win. "It was a bit of a shock at the end to see George staying out, but we'll take that in-house and move forward. We can all go into the summer break with our heads held high." Hamilton expressed his frustration further, saying, "George wasn't in my race for most of it. If the strategy had been done right, he wouldn't have been in my race and we wouldn't be having that conversation." When informed that his second stop was to cover the pit stops of Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc, who were immediately behind him at the time, Hamilton shrugged and seemed at a loss for words before responding, "It is what it is, it's done. We'll go into the break and we'll have a great time." Speaking to the written media in Spa, Lewis elaborated, "You have to put faith in the people you work with. I trust my strategists, and I should be able to rely on them completely. I told them the tyres were fine, yet they still pulled me in. Did I know I was at risk of getting one-stopped by my teammate? They didn't tell me that." As the 2024 Formula One season reaches its midpoint, the competition intensifies, with the leading teams battling fiercely for supremacy. The season pauses for a much-needed 4-week summer break, allowing teams to regroup and strategize for the upcoming races. Mercedes, showcasing their formidable prowess, has emerged as the dominant force in recent races, securing 3 victories out of the last 4 Grand Prix. Their consistent performance highlights the team's exceptional engineering, strategic acumen, and the driving skills of their top racers, George Russell and Lewis Hamilton. For Mercedes, this period will be about maintaining their momentum and continuing to refine their strategies to stay ahead in the championship race. Do you think Mercedes' tyre strategy decisions ultimately cost Lewis Hamilton the victory at the Belgium Grand Prix? Should the FIA introduce stricter fuel management checks to prevent similar disqualification scenarios in future races? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, goodbye for now.